Welcome back, guys. How are you? I hope you guys are having an amazing week. How has your week been? I know mine's has been, same old, but we keep it pushing. So today we're going to be talking about breastfeeding, weaning, baby-led weaning, not leading the baby, baby leading you to win the leading, all of that stuff. You know how it works. Yeah, so that's kind of what the main topic of today is going to be. Guys?
Let's dive in.
Okay, let's dive in.
Yeah. I'll go first.
Go for me.
I don't.
Fumi always goes first. Fumi is a wealth of knowledge. She has so much information. Like she's like always ready. She's like, I'll go first.
I'm just I'm just okay with sharing this information.
Go for it. We're here for it.
So basically, yeah, breastfeeding for me, I don't know if I would say my milk supply was high or if it was low. Though my mother-in-law would say to me, oh, you have a great milk supply. But I felt the other way because when we had my first, in the hospital, they had start formula, basically, because I wasn't producing. But the funny thing is I had breast engorgement. So, but it wasn't flowing. They used the hospital breast pump thing to try to, but it wasn't flowing like it should. But they were like, oh, it's going to come. We got home, the hot water thing. Mm-hmm. We did that. It started flowing. So I was like, oh, good, we're getting there. So we stopped giving him, the little formula they were giving him in the hospital. And oh my God, this boy will cry the whole time. But in my head, I was thinking, is it colic? Like different things were coming to mind as to why he was crying. But after a week, I was like, no, I'm done. Like, I'm not sleeping. No one is sleeping. Let's take him back to the hospital. And then the doctor said he's not getting enough. Guys, we bought formula. The ones, the already made ones?
Okay. Yeah.
We bought the full one and then put the nipple thing on it.
Right.
This boy downed it at a go.
Oh my goodness.
Like one time. That was when we knew, okay, he's actually not getting enough. So I couldn't do, is it baby friendly or like strictly breast milk exclusive for 6 months. So I had to do both. And I think with all my kids, basically, it had to be both because they ate a lot. And then with my first, he would suck. He would suck that it got to a point that my nipple started bleeding. Like, I had cuts on my nipple, and that was what made me stop breastfeeding him, because the doctor was like, okay, now at this point, you need to stop, because if you continue, you're going to infect him. You shouldn't be taking in blood. That was what made me stop my first from breastfeeding. I would have wished to do it longer, but I think I stopped him at 10 months. And that was when I found out I was pregnant for my second. So it was even a good time. It was a good time to stop breastfeeding.
Right?
Just breathe and stop. But it was a struggle. Like, that's back to back, feeding when they start. My God, it was a struggle. Like, I struggled through breastfeeding. Like, it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy for me. How about you?
Why are you always laughing at me? But it was actually interesting for me.
The way she's saying interesting,
because she used to hide from it.
Oh, she used to hide.
Yeah, it was actually interesting for the first 6 months. And then as soon as, my daughter started to get older, and I think she got more clingy. And I think that's when I started to feel like, but for supply, I was good. I was really good with supply. The only thing was I noticed that she didn't want to take the bottle. So I had to feed my daughter directly throughout.
The whole 6 months?
Yes, I couldn't express into a bottle. She would never take it. The whole whole time, right? She wouldn't take. She would cry and cry and cry. And there was a time I handed her to family, so I wanted to go out, and they're like, "No, go, don't worry, leave her, go, you'll be fine."
Right.
And I was like, "Oh, finally, I have people who would support me and take care of this baby." And 3 hours into my trip, they're like, "When are you back?" I'm like, oh my God.
I was expecting that.
And this girl cried till I got back.
Wow.
She refused the bottle till I got back. So after some time, they're like, oh, she'll grow out of it.
Yeah.
No, my daughter did not grow out of it. What she did was she became a patient baby. She would wait.
Oh wow.
She wouldn't take the bottle, but she'll play and she'll wait. She, like, my sister would be like, what? Like, she won't cry. She'd just be like, you know what? I know my mom's out, but I'll chill.
Yeah.
I'll wait. And she wouldn't take. So at that point, because I bought all sorts of bottles.
I can imagine.
Because sometimes they'll tell you, oh,
maybe
try
it's the
this
nipple.
nipple.
Right.
Maybe it's this.
This one
They'll-
is, yeah.
I bought everything. This girl did not take it. So eventually I said, you know what? And the thing is, for me, why I burst into laughter was, before I had her, I would always be like, oh, my daughter I would not let any child of mine, dictate to me how he or she wants to be fed.
Shock.
I'm sure this child is like, I would dictate to you.
That was your reality.
So I won't even lie, I didn't see it coming. But I accepted it eventually because obviously I had to do what I had to do. So a child that did not even want to take breast milk directly, is it that child that would take formula?
So she never took formula.
No, the only formula she took was like first few hours.
Of
You know
course,
how they feel because it was
yeah.
cesarean section. So they're like, oh, let's give her formula before you start to. That was the only formula. In fact, when I was leaving the hospital, I bought a pack. I was like, oh, we're back. I'll do combination feeding.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing like. And you know how, as a mom, especially as a first-time mom, you want the best. Like, you want research the best milk,
I
the
know.
best this.
Mine was even expensive. The formula he was taking where we had him in the States, it was, is it Similac or something? Like one of them ones? No, it was Similac because when we got back, when we went into a particular store, H-Medics, to buy that milk, guys, expensive.
Right?
And my son can eat a storm. So we spent money on formula, don't worry.
The truth is, I didn't even spend. The good thing is, some people say, oh, see, she's saving you money. I said, I did not ask her to save me money. I don't want to save money. I'm
want to
willing.
be free.
I would do all sorts. Like, I bought, those bags. I would store breast milk. I had, like, my freezer was... She didn't take it.
Right.
She didn't take it.
Liquid gold. To
It
waste.
was like actually... And then she did this till she turned 1. So I breastfed till she was 1. And I know why you guys like, yeah, I did. I was actually going to say, oh, now because of my background,
Some people will breastfeed longer.
because of my background, I'll be like, oh, WHO says, like when someone asks me, I'm like, WHO, I'm like, WHO recommends that we can feed till she's 2. But as soon as my daughter turned 1 Sunday, I was getting ready for church, and that was the day I said, you know what, today marks the end of breastfeeding, because I was wearing a cami. I was going to wear a blazer and a camisole. So she grew, remember I mentioned from 6 months, she started to become,
Clingy.
I won't call it clingy. And then her approach to breastfeeding was like aggressive, if you get what I mean. Like, she
Like,
literally
give me
pull
this
you,
thing.
give me, like she pull down your, and I was getting ready for church. And this girl actually tore my camisole. She hasn't paid yet. I still haven't collected my money. I'm just waiting for, yes, I actually want her to grow and be able to, we'll
Collect
have
the money
a
for the
conversation. I'll be
camisole.
like, you owe me money. You tore my camisole.
On this day,
Exactly.
I want my money with interest.
Because I remember the day. And that was the day I said to myself, no, I can't continue to do this. Like, and her doctor had said at some point it becomes behavioral.
Yes.
Right? It was no more, she was just using it for comfort. It wasn't like she was, because she started to eat normal food. She was eating, would eat right, she would eat right. She would eat everything, then still come back and pull my top. No, it doesn't work like that, girl.
How dare you?
So on that day, I said, that was my last day of breastfeeding. But
And that worked.
It was.
Was she sleeping on the same bed with you?
Do I want to disclose that here?
No, because
Well,
for me, I couldn't stop
actually,
them from
now I can say
breastfeeding
nobody's gonna
without
catch.
someone
Nobody's
helping
gonna catch me now, right?
No, there's nothing wrong
You know
with
why I said nobody's gonna. You know how they say you should not go sleep. I go slept. I go slept with my
sister.
I slept with my baby.
I'm
No baby of mine
co-sleeping
wanted
right
to sleep. My daughter doesn't even know what a cot looks like. Like, who is a cot? What is a
Yeah,
cot? She
mine
didn't
too.
care.
They never
She had
really
this
slept in a
little
cot.
bassinet that she attempted to sleep in for a bit, but after that it was co-sleeping. Like, we would just do one big family and just sleep.
Yeah.
Together. But eventually what I did was, thankfully I had help. So
Okay.
I stayed in a different place. she would stay in a different place at night. It was
Same
that
trick.
before I started running from her. Like,
like, why are you running?
like I'll see my daughter here, I'll be like, "Is that my daughter?" And I'll run. I did that for a while, like for.
And I'm like, why are you running? She's like, is Ade ready? I'm like, yes.
I'll like run away. You know, it took her a while, but you know,
Yeah.
she did outgrow it, right? So
I think, yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm indifferent. Like, as when I was a first time mom, I was open. That I think that's something that helped me. So I was like, if the breast, if the milk, I already bought the
ready-made
ready-made
one, yeah.
formula, and I put it in my hospital bag. Like, I was just open. But when I had her, like, my breast milk was overflowing. Like, it was ridiculous. So I was always engorged. I couldn't even raise my arm up to the point.
Wow.
Like,
That
it was
pain.
that bad. Like, it was the
Under
swelling
your
went all the way
armpit.
to my armpit. Yeah. So yeah, I did it. I did breastfeeding for about 9 months. And then I noticed that my daughter was now saying she didn't want to take butter. I'm like, what was that? You know, and I was trying to prepare to go back to work. So I thought, okay, let me do 9 months. And then I would, within the next couple of months before I go to work, I would just, use that time as a cooling off period. And it was all right, I guess. With this special one that I have now, my 5-month one, she's the same thing. My breast milk came immediately. Same thing. It was too much. Like, my freezer was filled up. But I noticed with her, she takes both bottle and breast.
Which is good,
She
yeah.
doesn't mind. Even if you give her formula, she will take it. But with my daughter, my first one, no, she
knew the difference.
She knew
And
the
she
difference,
wanted-
yeah. So it's made it a bit easier for me with breastfeeding. But I feel like I'm going to stop earlier this time around. And I feel like there's nothing wrong. If you don't want to breastfeed, it's fine. Like,
yeah.
it is a lot of work on your
It's
body.
a lot of work.
Because hormones have to be produced to produce, to make the milk, everything. So yeah, all of that's going to happen. So I think it's really up to you. I would say also, there's nothing wrong with mixed feeding. Like, the child needs to get food.
Yeah, they're gonna be
Especially
okay.
if you're first time mom, you don't know how your body's going to be. So be open. That's what I think.
Yeah.
With,
Like they
with
always
feeding.
say, fed is best.
Yeah.
So it's as long as the baby is fed,
Yeah.
right? It doesn't
Yeah,
matter if it's
doesn't
breast
matter if
milk.
it's breast
Doesn't
or-
matter if it's exactly. So as long as baby is well fed,
And baby's getting all the nutrients.
Yeah.
That's
Exactly.
what's important to be
And I think it's
honest.
also important to follow the lead of the baby as well. Like, my daughter right now, she's already doing, like, I can tell she's grabbing people's plates, and I'm like,
Yeah,
it's not
she
your
wants to
food.
eat.
Yeah, she's already doing it. So
Yeah.
at 6 months, of course, I'll start introducing her to, like, solids and gradually. But I just think with babies, sometimes I know we want all of these things for our kids, but sometimes just follow their lead a little bit and then incorporate yours as well, and then see how it works. And if it doesn't work again, try something else. I know breastfeeding can be a lot. Don't be under any pressure.
Yes, and don't feel guilty.
Don't
Like-
feel guilty. You can, if you want to do it, do it. If you feel like your body is allowing you, your mental health
Yes,
as well,
if you
because
feel
you're going
up
to
to
be
it.
postpartum, and there's a lot of things going on. So I just think you should kind of just
follow the lead,
follow
of,
the
your
lead
body
of your body,
and your baby.
yeah,
And your baby
work,
as well.
yeah. Seriously,
Yeah, for me, breastfeeding was a lot easier for me. I was open as well. I was ready to give the baby formula. But then again, with the way I'm wired, I'd read a lot of things about infection, and then I'd read a lot of things about when how people get infections when their bottles are not well washed and all of that.
Yeah, that's
so
another one,
so all I just wanted to do was breastfeed my baby.
right.
So it was easy for me. Milk production was good. Yes, it was engorged at some point, but then by the third day, it was overflowing. And there's something again with breastfeeding. Decide what you want to do, how you want to feed your baby. And then you have to understand yourself. How does it work with you? For some people, they want to breastfeed on the chair. For some people, it doesn't work for them on the chair. I never breastfed any of my baby on the chair.
How do you mean on the chair?
Yes,
Like sitting down and breastfeeding.
Oh, seriously?
So
No,
how
I
did-
So how
never
did you
it.
breastfeed?
So how did you...
So for me, that was what made it easier for me. And from day one, my babies sleep all through till they are
yeah,
you
yeah.
still haven't said so.
How
So how I do it is there's a way God has blessed me with.
We're getting there.
So there's a way I lie down.
Yes.
I place my hands just by their head. I tilt them to my side, and then I let them latch on the breast. Then some mothers complain about sore. Right?
Yeah.
Like you said. To me, I stand to be corrected. I think the problem we have right there is because we don't allow them latch on well.
Okay.
So we have to ensure that the whole areola goes into their mouth.
We're gonna talk
I know.
about this.
I
Yeah, go on.
totally
No,
understand what you're saying, but for me, my son wants to be on the breast the whole night.
Yeah, I
So it's
understand.
not a case of you you breastfeed and then
So-
you drop him.
No.
So he wants to be sucking. It was more like comfort, not even taking the food again.
Yeah.
It was now comfort. Me, I felt like that was what was happening and was making my nipples sore.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's kind of happening to me right now. Yeah.
because
yeah.
I understand what you're saying for me. But what I'm actually saying is that if you make sure that the whole, like some people have very big nipples, for some people it's just very small.
yeah.
Okay.
But you have to ensure that the whole black part goes
Isn't-
into their mouth.
So you say
That
even
way
if a
you are
baby
not
puts their
sore.
mouth,
It's
the
the
whole night.
latching.
So
So my
Go on.
babies breastfeed all through the night.
Jesus,
Because I just carry them this way. Yes, they sleep on my bed
wow.
with me. And then there's a way I lift my hand. I have a pillow. I have
Supporting
this,
your-
I have this pregnancy pillow that I
Yeah.
had. So I just wrap them around me, and then I make sure that they are latching on well, and they have that in
Actually,
their mouth
no,
all through the night.
you are going to show me this thing
You know,
when
I
we are
said-
off camera, because like I breastfeed through the night as well. I don't do it like that, but I find a way
Yeah.
which works for the two
So
of us.
I
But
don't
I
have
need to
to-
know this
I don't
way that
have
you're
to
talking
wake up
about
every
because
2 hours.
it sounds
So
comfortable.
maybe
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 you
like
should try
sleeper.
to have another baby.
No,
so that
please,
you
thank
can-
you. We're
No,
done.
no,
You
no.
can learn. We're done. We're done here.
No, but what she's saying about the whole of the areola
No, I
is true,
understand.
because my midwife told me the same
Yeah.
thing. But I found that I will not lie, I struggled the first couple of weeks this second time around with breastfeeding, even though I breastfed before, but for some reason it felt like
Yeah,
new
yeah,
again.
felt-
Yeah.
yep.
So that thing with that, I'm like, I got the breast, I got the position. Do you get me? And but
So you have to also
It's-
teach the baby how to latch on. So you cannot, like what I do for
What
me.
you both say?
What I do for me is
Because
for me I just carry the baby.
Okay.
And the baby tries to suck on the nipple. I use my hand
to guide
push
them.
the areola into the mouth. That way the baby isn't sucking only on the nipple, because that
is where the pain comes from.
You know the funny-
that hurts a lot.
I understand what you're saying, but maybe for me, because I'm a light sleeper, so if the baby is sucking the whole night, I'm more or less not getting
Sleep,
sleep,
yeah.
because I'm
Babe,
also
you get
concerned.
used to it.
Is hope my breast is not covering the nose. Hope
Yeah, you're thinking,
that's
yeah.
what
So
you
there
know,
is a
the-
things like that.
like
Like
I
it was.
said.
You
You
have
she just
to-
keep saying there is a
Are
way.
you going to-
I mean, for me, it was
She's going to
very
teach us.
easy for
For
my
last,
three
I don't need
babies.
it now.
You're
Maybe
gonna
I'll
show
do it
me.
for my
No, I'm
daughters.
serious.
Yes, I even
show
had
me.
to teach my sister.
no,
this
show me,
myself.
because I think you never know. People could actually learn from this. There's
Yeah.
probably
So
a
that was
technique
what I
that we
did for
don't know
my
about.
3 babies. I exclusively breastfed them for 6 months.
Wow.
Yes, for the 3 of them, and then I stopped for every one of them at 1 year, 1 month.
Nice.
So that was what I
Wait,
did for.
you said it's
the
6
3 of
months.
them. 6
Like
months
exclusive.
Okay, and then
And then
And
she
then
was mixed
by
like
1
okay,
year,
but
Yeah,
after
till
the,
they
okay,
were-
I
by
got
yeah.
1
you.
year,
Okay,
1 month, I win them.
Right.
So that was what I did for the 3 of them. But breastfeeding for me was so easy. I didn't have to wash bottles. I didn't have to bother about any. I didn't express. I didn't do any of that.
I was the
They
wash-
were
wash
breastfeeding
bottle.
directly.
I was the
Yes.
sanitizer.
From day one.
is washing bottle was my
one
was
year.
my
1
problem.
year, 1
Was your
month.
problem?
Yes.
I wash bottles. I sanitize.
No, that
I,
was-
I
that-
tried
that-
different bottles.
I tried
I had
it.
to
Tape
stop
it.
because
I did it all. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I tried every bottle. Even there was this one that came out. Is it Nupi? The soft one. We did it all. Sorry, we tried all bottles because what was priority to me was this child was eating, because at 4 months I had to go back to work, and baby had to go to daycare. at 4 months, then in Nigeria, you get 3 months, I think, maternity leave or
Maternity
something like
leave,
that.
yeah.
So by the time I was back, you have to go to daycare. So if you were not eating, it was going to be a concern for me because the few hours you're there, I don't know what is going on with you. So,
But the thing
yeah.
with hygiene, let me just speak on that. With hygiene, of these bottles, they are like more newer ways to sterilize.
Yeah, there's like the sterilizing tablets.
Yes,
You know, you have to
tablets.
use
That was
water.
13 years ago. Jenny. Yeah, there was tablet that
OG
time
mommy.
too.
Yeah.
There was tablet that time too, but then I didn't want to go through this
You just didn't
stress.
want to go through the
is.
stress.
This time around,
It just came very easy for me
Okay.
because I
Okay.
had to sleep.
Now
all
it makes
through the
sense because
night.
these days
Yeah.
I don't
they're
want to have
newer
to wake up.
sterilization method.
Yeah, sure.
I
Like
don't want to have
15
to
minutes.
wake up
Yeah.
every 2 hours to breastfeed
Wash
the
bottle and-
baby
I hear you.
and then wash the wash the bottle, having to warm the food. It was a lot of stress for me.
Actually,
And
Having
apart
said-
from
yeah.
that,
I
I
don't
can
blame
be
you.
so lazy at things like that. So why would I want to go through it?
can
I already
relate.
know the kind of person I am. So all I just wanted to do was the easy way out.
Yeah.
And the breastfeeding came very easy for me. So
Yeah.
I just
But-
learned it.
yeah.
It was I learned through a friend who did the same thing, and then she taught me with her baby,
technique.
and then
You're going
I
to show me this technique.
I got it up like
know,
that.
right?
No, don't worry. We'll
Because
take tutorial
also,
after
like-
this. But me, I'm taking tutorial for my daughter.
Yeah.
And for my daughter-in-laws to come. Around
Because
here,
you are
we're being a baby girl going forward. and no babies
Yeah.
anymore.
But I would say the most important, in all of this, like, I know
Yeah.
breastfeeding for some people is a real struggle and it's a challenge. Ask for help.
Yes.
Look, I've
yes,
been a
yeah,
mom.
lactation,
I've had a child
yeah.
before. The second time around, it was tough. I spoke to my midwives. I spoke to my OB. I was like, look, this is a struggle. And I kept asking for help, even though I wasn't getting it until I got to a place. So, important thing, if you're struggling with breastfeeding, you want to do it,
Yeah.
ask for help.
Yeah.
The help is out there.
see a specialist.
Yes,
Talk
definitely.
to someone.
There are breastfeeding specialists.
And
as
at
well,
the
yeah.
end of the day, fed is best.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, guys. Till
Thank you.
next time.
Yeah.
Peace.
Take care, subscribe, like,
Bye.
and comment in the on the chat box and everything.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.